He wants a total abortion ban with no exceptions. He supported bans that would not only criminalize abortion, but ban IVF treatments and common forms of birth control, and that you voted against access to contraception. Where are you on these issues? Is that an accurate assessment of where you are? Because that's not in step with the American people.
No, Shannon, look, I'm pro-life. I've said very clearly I'm a Bible-believing Christian. I believe in the sanctity of every single human life. So I come to Congress with deep, personally held convictions.
The Biden-Harris HQ team on X posted that moment from Speaker Johnson back in November where he tried to figure out how to stand by his radical beliefs on a person's reproductive rights all the way down to IVF treatments. And it's coming back up in light of Alabama court ruling that equates embryos inside or outside of the uterus as children and protects them under the Wrongful Death of a Minor Act. But they just must have cut Speaker Johnson short before he could say all those were just personally held beliefs and not really a policy plan.
No, Shannon, look, I'm pro-life. I've said very clearly I'm a Bible-believing Christian. I believe in the sanctity of every single human life. So I come to Congress with deep, personally held convictions. But guess what? So do my 434 other colleagues in the House. Everyone comes to Congress with their deeply held convictions. But the process here is that you make law by consensus. And I've not brought forward any measure to address any of those issues.
Everyone comes to Congress with their convictions. So the further dismantling of reproductive rights is not on the table until now. And Shannon Bream wasn't going to let him off the hook with that generic answer either.
To be clear, though, have you voted against fertility treatments and access to contraception? Would you?
I don't think so. I'm not sure what they're talking about. I really don't remember any of those measures.
But do you oppose anything?
I am personally pro-life, yeah. No, of course not. No, that's something that's blessed a lot of families who have problems with fertility. Of course, that's a great thing.
So the Speaker of the House very nervously declared that despite his previous stances and votes for a total abortion and contraception ban, he's all for IVF treatments. Alabama didn't agree with him until the hit the fan with this ruling, forcing them to backpedal and try to clarify their big government principles. Speaker Johnson should probably have a sit-down with his Republican colleagues that haven't gotten the memo about acting as if they care about Alabama's ruling.
Do you think Republicans have a problem with this issue? You're saying that we should focus on things like gas prices, et cetera, but for a lot of women out there, this is issue number one.
Well, look, that issue will be debated, I assume. But again, let's leave it to the states. And if you go on Main Street USA and tell them to name the top 10 troubling spots that the country faces, I doubt embryos, the decision in Alabama with the embryo situation or their views in Alabama would come to the top of the list.
The country is paying attention to this party's declared stances against any and all access to contraception, abortion, and reproductive care. They think it's clever to pass it off as handing it off to the states to decide, as party leadership encourages them to decide that it's criminal. So if it's a states' rights issue, why is Donald Trump badly reading a couple of throwaway lines here from his handlers after they put that into a stump speech, trying to claim that he's in favor of IVF?
That includes supporting the availability of fertility treatments like IVF in every state in America. You've been seeing Alabama, it's been a big story, like the overwhelming majority of Americans, including the vast majority of Republican, conservatives, Christians, and pro-life Americans. I strongly support the availability of IVF for couples who are trying to have a precious little beautiful baby.
Just say you're in favor of exactly what you've been railing against for years. Because like Representative Norman said, it's not a top 10 issue for Americans. That's the stance from these Republicans. And just hope that no one remembers that he nominated a judge to the U.S. District Court in St. Louis that was staunchly opposed to his strong support for IVF.
Judge on the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, Sarah Pitlick of Missouri. Judge on the District Court for the Eastern District of Missouri.
It's looking like Republicans' plan is to claim that they don't support their long-held opposition to abortion access while continuing to take every opportunity to implement laws that eliminate abortion access.
Donald Trump says that he wants to protect IVF. Don't get distracted from the facts. He literally is the architect of this entire crisis. What happened in Alabama is a direct result of what happened in the United States Supreme Court. He handpicked 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the full intention for them to overturn Roe v. Wade and take away the protections around every person's freedom and right to be able to make decisions about their own body and not have their government tell them what to do.